Hello everybody, welcome to Kate's Garden Chicken and Cat Rambles. I made a little movie and now I'm having to do it over because, I don't know, my finger just went delete crazy. But today I am going to go out and read a story from my tribe, the Choctaw Nation. This is about the Biskinik, the Sapsucker. And that is the theme of this year's Christmas ornament. It's not real bright in this room. Let me take it down. I'll show it more to you when we're outside. But I went ahead and put a tree up. I didn't last year because the kittens were so young. This is their first year, so I just put a few ornaments on it, things that they couldn't break. But that includes a bunch of beautiful ornaments for my tribe. Each year, when they send a Christmas card, they send a beautiful ornament. Some about legends, some depicting historic and beautiful buildings. This one talks about Choctaw crafts and pottery. Let's show another one. This talks about some horse legends. This one was in honor of the World War I code talkers. This one, which I think is the tribal council house. I love these little trees on there. This is about Tolly. It's a Choctaw stick game. Here's another one. It's the bell tower at the Wheelock Church, which was also, I believe, a tribal school. But here's another one. This one I think is very pretty. About our warriors. I have a total of 11 on this tree. Last year's was dedicated to Tanchi and the women in the tribe. And I had probably about 5 or 6 more, but they managed somehow to become missing when I went to retrieve some of my things after my divorce. So I can only hope that I've misplaced them somewhere and that they weren't just taken or given away or anything like that. But we're going to go out and tell a bird story to the birds. All right, I'll add this into it. We got a little Christmas spirit going on here around the coop. I had thought about getting them a small live tree. God, trees are so expensive. And just planting it out here. If it didn't live, then they could just climb on it and snack on it. But we've come out to tell them a story about the Sapsucker, which is an important legend for my tribe. You guys want to hear a story? I mean, you love to hear me talk to you, so I'm assuming you do. Like, didn't you already tell us the story, Mom? Yeah, I kind of did, but let's tell it to you again. This time we're going to read it. Okay? Now gather around. So there's the beautiful ornament. Biskinik is also the name of our Choctaw newspaper. This is our chief, Gary Batten, and Jack Austin Jr., our assistant chief. And now you guys want to hear the story about the Sapsucker and the flicker. It's a Choctaw legend. And it's this year's ornament, and it's December, so we're going to have this little moment of storytelling. Okay? Oh, looky here. He was like front and center. According to Choctaw legend, only 2 birds survived the Great Flood. A sapsucker and a flicker flew above the rising waters. Becoming weary, they flew as high as they could and perched upside down on the sky. As they hung there, their tail feathers were drenched by the surging waters. The wave caused the feathers to separate and become scissor-like. God bless the two birds for their bravery. The sapsucker was very grateful for his blessing. God decreed that he would always be a special friend to his people. The Choctaw. The sapsucker was the friendliest of birds. It was accorded special treatment and became known as the little Choctaw newsbird. The sapsucker lived near Choctaw homes and let people know when someone approached. This little bird accompanied hunting parties. It would tell the hunters when game was nearby and which direction they should go to find it. The sapsucker warned warriors of approaching enemies. When danger came near an encampment of Choctaw warriors in the night, the sapsucker tapped the message on the trees throughout the camp. The Choctaw people continue to honor this bird. The tribal newspaper bears its Choctaw name, Biskinik. And there we are. We've read the story for the birds, and they're listening. They're hanging out. Oops, I just dropped my ornament in the dirt. Yeah. So yeah, it's December 9th. It's a Friday. Oh, Una, you look so pretty up there. Doesn't she look pretty, Luna? Luna's like, that's my sister, you know. We're sisters. I think I'm prettier. You're both beautiful. Yeah, that was a balancing act for Mom to get up while standing with both feet on the 2x4. So, it's getting late in the evening. It's getting close to 5. They did get out today, about 2:30. The only way I knew they had gotten out was because I heard this loud squawking and bitching over there going on. And I recognized the tone. It was Bronwyn. And so I knew that they had gotten out and she didn't get out with them. And sure enough, she was over here by the fence watching them run around, just a squawking and complaining. I don't know why she didn't fly out with them. She is a smaller bird and she can fly over these fences, but I don't know. Anyway, I opened the gate to let her out, and then she went out, and they all came back in. They went out, and they all came back in. And now they're back in for the evening. Yesterday was the first time they got up on the back porch, and Chaos had left some wet food and some dry food in his bowl. And he eats a very high-quality, all-protein, grain-free food. But they liked it. They finished off his food, nibbled some dry, stepped in his water and knocked it over. He didn't care. He doesn't mind sharing with the birds, even though they peck at him sometimes. So I've got them back in here with some scratch and the promise of a bedtime story. But I hope everyone's having a nice December. I hope everyone's getting in the holiday spirit of peace and love. And some years it's hard for me to get in the holiday spirit. We don't really celebrate it. Some years I don't even put up a tree. Paul doesn't really care if we have a tree or not, and we don't normally have gifts that go under the tree or anything like that. But sometimes it helps me to remember what season it is. You know, when you're single and you're alone and you're not a big social person, and your companions are chickens and cats, sometimes you forget what day it is. But I try to keep the Christmas spirit in my heart. And I love all these beautiful ornaments Tribe sends. Typically they're gold. This is a pewter one. Last year was a pewter, but they're heavy and they're beautiful. And so this year's Christmas tree is just them and a few other little small colored ornaments and shell ornaments. So it's kind of a Choctaw beach kitten-proof tree. All right, ladies. You guys have a nice night. I'm going in. Love y'all. Say bye-bye.